Good morning, everybody. Yeah, so buyers stepped in there yesterday on the dip. Right down here. Say it once, got to say it again. Look to the left. Not that you know it's going to rally back up as it did, but that's going to give it a shot to see if they come back up off of the low. That's where to do it. However, I'm just kind of running in place, going nowhere here. And it's not unusual after the initial move up for buyers to be aggressive on that dip. But now today we'll begin to tell the story how aggressive they want to be at this level. And so yesterday's low will be a focal point to see if it holds. And you can see the consolidation. So you got 2 days there. And a little time correction over the last two. And as you can see, it's starting to roll over here again as it's creating pivots up there. Got a little news conference going on there if you got the TV on. Hopefully they don't say anything too motivating for the markets to drop significantly. I don't know if you heard that they're talking about Amazon and a hostile comment. I did and partnering with China for marketing stuff. I didn't catch the whole thing, but if you did, is Amazon one of the ones reporting this week? Today, actually. Interesting. Amazon is reporting today after the close. And I think Costco is after the close, or it was before anyway. Costco is reporting today. And then tomorrow we've got Microsoft and then Apple on Thursday. So big reports coming. And so now, markets had this strong move up. And, different comments that come across over the internet. I saw on X yesterday. And last week and this week, I mentioned about this sharp move up in the breadth internal McClellan oscillator. How it's just a straight, almost vertical move to the upside, getting to an extreme, and that being bullish. And there are comments about, I don't know if you have to be around a long time or read history about the markets. They called it I guess, a different way of measuring this, a swag index or swag indicator. And so I guess that's a measure of breadth. So what you find over time is that, and I know I did years ago, I used to look at so many different things as far as market internals. And what you find is that eventually you find that they just overlap each other. It's just another way of massaging the data in different ways, whether it's breadth or sentiment and so on. And that's why I just narrowed it down to a couple of put call ratios and this breadth internal and seeing if they match up or not. So point being, when it moves like this so quickly, historically the markets are higher. Maybe not in the short term because things always correct, especially if they break these lows here, things pull back a little bit. But it's a broad participation when you see something move that quickly. So that's a positive. Now we're just going to see, as far as news events goes, how much the markets retrace. There's an unfilled gap down here. Whether we get a correction bar, so maybe today breaks the lows and it pops back up again. Yeah, exactly, Robert. So it's not like, and there's always that, the past doesn't equal the future, so on and so forth. You remember sometime, I guess it was sometime last year, I forget exactly when, but we had that broad market participation, which was great, and the small caps made a really nice move. which was great at the time. And then eventually things change. So you always got to be careful about getting too attached to a bias. As long as it holds up, great. And yesterday was a good complement to that bias that prices clawed their way back. So almost no matter what, not everything, whatever didn't claw its way back. I noticed Ford didn't, um, and some others, but many of the tech stocks that dipped down and were near the low of the day yesterday clawed their way back up, and that's a positive. Now, overall, you look at the candle and it's like, okay, there's a little slowing momentum candle, and we measure that just by a small candle body or a narrow range. So maybe this is, results in a correction through time, going sideways and then eventually up toward this stiffer resistance area. And different sectors look different. Some like technology already moved up, so up at resistance. So things are correcting here a bit, and let's just see how far it goes. NASDAQ cleared that high. Some resistance here. Similarly, it came back yesterday. It's in a trading range. You can see on the 65-minute. We'll see if it goes back down to the bottom of the range. Kind of looks like it's going to happen the way it's acting at the moment. And if it does, well, we'll be waiting to see what it does down here. Can it spring back up and continue the trading range? But if it goes sideways down here, say for a half hour or so, or if it has some kind of upward correction bar, right? So what's a correction bar? Posted a chart yesterday that was mentioned in the room about root, ROOT. Maybe Dan will take a look at it. But anyway, I sent out a little thing yesterday and pointed to it being correction bar and broke the lows. So if prices were to come down here, like they look like they're going to, and say it pops up and it forms a topping tail bar after taking out some highs, well, odds are it's going to go down. A lot of this is just common sense when you look at it from the point of view of, oh, buyers stepped in at support, they drove it up, and it got knocked back down again. That's not a good thing. So if it breaks the lows, it'll go down. And of course, well, down to where? It's like, well, there's not much because of this momentum move, that big green bar on the daily. There isn't much, really, like nothing to stop it from going down. Like a whole number, maybe it stops there, and people start drawing their fib levels and so on and so forth. Things maybe come into play. So we'll see how it unfolds. All right. Russell, marking time, pretty sloppy, going nowhere there. Dow definitely showing relative weakness, but marking time. Last night I looking at this and I said, if it takes out the highs, that could be positive and play some catch up on the move up. But this morning is more of a consolidation, wait and see, I guess, what earnings or news might come out. So nothing happening there. Transports, marking time. Yeah. So intraday moves, nice, but overall waiting for things to set up. A correction bar, some event that would give us an indication prices moving down. And I say I'm thinking to test the lows, but maybe testing the lows isn't in the cards at this point. We'll just have to see. Bitcoin, clearly breakout, next resistance area, marking time for the moment. Look at the size of that. You got that big move, but look at that wide range bar on the weekly time frame. So, that's a positive. It's bullish. Gold down today. So yesterday, intraday, it was on fire. And it's just marking time on fire, relatively speaking, compared to other things that had a really nice move. Correcting now, but you can see, had a big move and then continued later in the day. So that's just flip-flopping around. Silver looks like so far, well, another one marking time, but it's holding up nicely. Wide range bar, sideways. Set an alert, put the high, see if it gets up there. Interest rates. So yesterday, as the markets were heading down toward the lows that they made, interest rates were moving down. I was like, that's not helping. And nonetheless, they came back from the lows. And now we've got a wide range bar breaking down under that pivot low. That's on the 200. So it'll be interesting to see if this starts to dip down. Remember, Trump, when he started with his tariffs, and then the bond market went into a tizzy, and interest rates, ripped higher, and then things kind of settled down. And so keep an eye on this to see if it starts moving down, and if transports start moving down. There's everybody, not everybody, but many talking about, the tariffs and recession and the economy slowing and so on and so forth. So talk is talk. What the markets do, that's action. So we want to see the interest rates continue to start dipping here, and the transports are what they're going to do. So overall, most things are just marking time, waiting. Um, yeah, semiconductors clawed their way back. NVIDIA was lower. How much did it come back? A little bottoming tail bar there, but again, just things consolidating at resistance. Not a lot going on as far as things setting up for one way or the other. Uh, so spiders pulling back. I imagine there's some adjustments. I already set up the extremes here. Things were unchanged before. Now they are in the middle of yesterday's range, give or take. And again, declining 50 under the 200, 20 declining under the 50. Overall downtrend, possibly low. Well, it is a low that it holds. And so far, just chopping around here. So ideally we get another dip and we see how things come back up again, and we're in just a trading range going on for the moment. So that would suggest the upside, unless some startling news comes out, to get things percolating higher. But under normal technical conditions, odds are we're going to be in this range, and buyers will step up on dips, and we'll see how the sea evolves bar by bar. So the ranges are contracting a little bit. Um, I forget what this number was before, but it was probably close to double that, the average range. So it contracted a bit more from yesterday. So the ranges contract. Just look at the 5-day average to give a kind of, you know, estimate as to the extremes and see how that lines up. Yesterday, because of the way things are overlapping each other here, these numbers kind of overlap prices. So I'm just moving this so you can see it, but let's just double check this. Since things dipped, I imagine this number would have come down a little bit. 55, yeah, I can see 20 handles. And you want to see that. If it didn't dip down, that would suggest complacency. Okay, that's still above the whole number. That's good. It came down 20 as well, so equal. All right, so Things are down a little bit, consolidating. There's an unfilled gap here. So that's a reference point. And the 50 MA is up there. You got a whole number. So as I like to be more confident about things, it ain't going up there today. Is it going down here? I think unlikely, but you know, why should it go all the way down there today? Some news, but either way, I don't think either one is going to get touched today. So as things start to move, you know, the top one, I think, could be done early on. The bottom one, we want to see how far things dip. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, markets were flat, then up, now down. So yeah, not expecting a whole lot here. But since they're down, if they can't bounce much, I'm thinking maybe some zero DTE call spreads on the spiders. Yeah, this little whiskey Weight Watchers. Look at that. It looks like it was headed to zero. And then tomorrow we're doing MT live on volume. I think it's pretty safe to call that igniting volume. 2 days ago, you just look at volume spikes and look up and tells what does it tell you? Raul here, ATO above yesterday's high. Yeah, that's a nice buy setup. Hey, do you remember what stock were we talking about buy setup yesterday? That I said it was following a climb and far from the 20. This one is substantially better, even though it had a big run. This was a continuation pattern. So that's your minor support, and it's close to the 20. Do you remember which one it was yesterday? But yeah, that's a good one. Let me set an alarm at 159 with the market down. It couldn't trigger. A couple other alarms here, and then we'll look at earnings. SYF alarm continuation pattern. Watching that for a put spread or naked put. A bull. This is the Webull. Let me set a new alarm. 1550. Oh, where are you? This is a competitor of Hood. Wow, my last alarm was 1870. NOV just had an alarm go off. Yep, that's an earnings stock. I already went through earnings and I deleted a bunch. Oklo bottoming pattern. I got an alarm at 25. I think we had a put spread that we took our money on yesterday. ARC B. We're in this in the ETF letter as a Bitcoin trade. FCFS. I had an up alarm go off. We're in this. Calm. We shorted naked 88 or 80, whatever they were, naked puts. Up alarm went off. Looks good. DOV we were watching yesterday. I like this as a put spread idea, the 160s. I got an alarm at 170, 150. Let's go to earnings now. Oh, HIMS alarm. HIMS. And so pre-market yesterday, I gave two trades. I gave put spread, which we got filled on a pullback. And I also said buy 10-minute high, which was right here in the morning. And then I didn't like the deeper tracement, so I canceled it. And, woulda, coulda, shoulda, if you bought a pullback or whatever. So now it's up $10. Wow. Yeah, thanks, Rocco. And I found that, I get trade ideas through the craziest ways. Looking at a bus advertising go by. And I just saw this one when Greg was talking yesterday. I saw it go by the ticker. And I just pulled it up and gave it as a trade. So I'm in it too. But I'm just in the put spread. NVIDIA going to okay. Yeah, whenever you hear me saying that the premiums are so jacked and it's not earnings, that is a definite just heads up that there could be pending news. So we got 61 cents for a $3 wide put spread. So I knew that's juicy. Sophie, Delta 20's asking me and gapping up to 1410. You got to tell me what you're thinking, Delta 20, but there's no new trade for me. If I were long, I'd be selling right now, pre-market. All right, earnings here. So that NOV alarm went off. Teradyne, when I set a Telegram alert pre-market, when I saw it gapping up here to 79, see, that would be a beautiful 5, 10, 30-minute high trade as a bottoming pattern. You got a retest on the weekly, still got a power downtrend, but stabilizing. But now gaps messing it up. So it's not a tier 1 watch anymore, is it? So let's see, I'm just gonna set an alarm, see if it recovers. 77. And then maybe 30-minute high, let's see. NXPI 181. That's a bearish gap. So that could be a call spread or even a condor, maybe. Let's watch that. AMKR was up, now flat. I don't know, it's up a bunch of resistance, but it is one of those retest patterns on the weekly again. Leg gap is too big, but that's an igniting gap. That's breaking the back of this downtrend. So Alex checked his cousin arm, and that's doing nothing. NUE, kind of a breakout failure there, but no great pattern. Ion, igniting gap. That's igniting. That's worth watching a pullback. November Echo, gapping up. That's a put spread idea. Gap breakout. TWO 1256. That could be a day trade gap and crap. Watch. ARE was a potential bottoming pattern, but now it's gapping down. I have an alarm up here somewhere, see if it recovers. On the HLIT, I don't see any prints here, but yeah, nothing of interest. UHS gapping down. That could be a 30-minute low short. That's a sell setup and reversal at the 20. I think we even said that yesterday, that Fed opened flat, short under yesterday's low. All right, there's CNF. I don't see any prints. But that's a put spread idea over the high. PCH, potential bottoming pattern, but I don't see any prints. FFIV, 260. 30-minute low call spread idea. I did like 5 earnings trades myself yesterday. Let me see. I think I'm in this one. Yeah, I shorted the $200 puts. So I'm bidding a nickel. Well, no, I'm bidding a dime to get out, or a nickel, I forget. But it's 17 DTEs. But probably a dime. Sanmina 75.50. It's a bearish gap. So call spread and maybe Condor also. I have that in the bottom right window. ABCB, no pattern. CR 160, gap's too big. Had it open flattish, then that would have been a good put spread, but gap's too big now. SSD, no pattern, no void. Coke was positive in the morning. That just went kerplunk. The sloppy buy setup, and look how much stronger that is than Pepsi. That, I know Pepsi does a ton of these food products, which maybe they're coming under pressure. Junk food, potato chips. SPGI 490, put spread watch, 30-minute high. Honeywell, this is one I did puts on. I did the 175s, I think. So I'm bidding a nickel to get out. Spot 550, ugly gap. All right, I don't need Teradyne. So this is another one. Ugly gap in the middle on support. I have no idea what this is going to do. But as of right now, it looks like a condor idea for Friday. UPS was up, now down. I'm going to set an alarm at 100. See if, I'm just going to ignore it, but see if it can recover. But as of right now, 30-minute low maybe for a call spread. And then what's his cousin doing? FedEx. They're both junky. Transports. Sherwin Paint Company, 347. Put spread idea if there's any juice. But I think he's usually spreading. All right, I heard a bell, so I got filled on something right away on one of my earnings trades. All right, Bravo Papa has an ugly gap. Watch for a day trade short setup and also call spread. APD doing nothing. I had an up alarm to see if this could be an ascending triangle breakout. Let me go through the rest of these. All right, ECL alarm went off. That's a gap breakout, but gap's too big now. Mighty Mo, call spread. 59s if there's any juice. PayPal is whipping all over the place. We'll come back. RCL. Nothing to do with it. Up 4 bars. Hilton. We're short Marriott puts. So let's see. We shorted the naked Marriott. Yeah, that's too spready. Too spreading, but I'm bidding 30 cents on that to get out. Let's see, what did I get filled on? I got filled on my Honeywell puts, all right, right at the open. Yeah, I had the 185s down here, so I just killed them for a nickel. So nice profit there. P-car. That's an ugly gap. Let me make sure I don't have puts on it. P-car, no, I don't have a position. Good. LUV alarm, we ordered puts yesterday. Nothing to do. I'll just set a higher alarm now. 27:30. Oh, calm. I had a up alarm this morning and now I got a low alarm. So that's not good. No, there's nothing to do. See that up alarm? Let's see where our puts are on this. Or May. Yeah, this was in the weekend letter. Okay, so calm. Yeah, we have the 8750s, so we're we're fine.
And look at Netflix. You mentioned that one yesterday. This premium decently above yesterday's high.
Yeah, I think my only concern, if you think it was going to move at all with, but yeah, I remember saying it. I said I did not trust it at the time, and that was a good comment because it came back and closed at the high. I still don't trust it yet, but I will set an alarm. I know how you like doing them into strength, but I don't trust it into strength myself. Um, but I'll watch it. Calm. Set no alarms. Marvel. It's bottoming pattern. Yeah, got above the 20, going sideways. I'll set an alarm. Netflix. Let me set alarms at 11:10.
These bottoming patterns that didn't move, realize they showed relative weakness in the markets at resistance. They have lower odds of working out.
Yeah, absolutely. But one slight caveat to that is, um, catch-up trade situation if you have a good pattern, but yeah, if the market's extended, then that could be a different story. Oh, hymns. Let me see where our put spread is. All right, I was bidding a penny and did not get filled. Wow, there's still juice on this thing, I think, because of the news. Kill this order. Millennium alarm, Sam, this was yours I liked. I actually put it in the letter, but I think it's earnings on 5/1. Hymns. Yeah, I said 5-minute low. Kill it. So that's right now. So, well, under the low now. Right now it's 7 cents. We sold them for 60. I'm gonna kill. I just killed mine at 6 cents. Um, be done with it because there's, I mean, the chart says it ain't going down there, but if you want to sit on it and babysit it when it's in the middle of the news, or just take your money and move on like I did. We made 90% of max. I'll take it. All right, IoT alarm. We're in 2 trades, directional. The inputs for IoT. It's a new alarm, 40, 30. Break even on the long. It's 39.79. All right. Morning. I actually sold myself the $40 puts. And I'm bidding a nickel. It's 5 cents by 12. Go ahead and bid 7 cents, see if I can get out. All right, I'm out at 7 cents. All right, Netflix. I see some of the things weakening here. Google, the worst, actually. All right, Netflix. All right, so 11. Wow, they're spreading. Wow, they're really spreading. And Greg, well, here, let's try $5 wine. All right, Greg, check this one out. Netflix, 0 DTE, 11.30, 11.35 call spread for $1. What do you think of that one?
Netflix? How could Netflix be 0 DTE?
I'm sorry, my bad. No, 3 DTE. That's a Freudian slip, I guess.
I think it's good. I mean, for a couple of days, yeah.
All right, so what's the stop?
I don't know. You always ask me the same thing. I don't know how to do stops with credit spreads.
All right, I'll give 1-to-1. I mean, to get to 1-to-1 on a $5 wide, that shouldn't happen quick. Now it says 110. Wow, I got filled at 110. Wow. All right, I'm in Netflix, sweetie. Kroger. It's a sloppy buy setup. I would like it better, Alex, if it had a bottoming tail and then came back. But yeah, let's put it on the list. DG. I think I like this one better, but also I would like a bottoming tail, but they're both buy setups, yes, that are not extended. So yeah, and I say that I think is the one we talked about yesterday. That I said that one's far from the 20 with no support. So that one I would like to it to I would like the buy setup to fail first. Makes sense. All right, our bull alarm will pop there. Remember, this is one I shorted puts, and I, with your feedback, I closed them at a nickel gain. Let's see where they're at. It's actually that's the 30 cents. They're at the same spot. Midpoint's 25, $10 puts. But I'm gonna start watching this. It could looks like it might be a new toy. Things here. Set alarms on Kroger. I'll set an alarm at 70 spot 45 Kroger. Or if it goes sideways all day, then after 3 o'clock, I think we can do a half lot over the high on Kroger. Dollar General. That one has a lot more resistance on the 15 and hourly. So I'm gonna set an alarm 93.70. I like Kroger better as of right now. 93.70. Paradigm doing nothing. The Corning I'm out of. H-lit. Um, H-lit. I actually sold the 7.5 puts. That's why I had it in my minder. Do y'all remember I did a 10 lot on this for a quarter? So I got a nice open game. I'm gonna bid 2 cents to get out, but it looks like they have $5, I'm sorry, 5 penny minimums, which I'm not gonna pay. But let me try 2 cents. Because sometimes you'll get filled in the dark, even though they don't post your order. All right, so that was a nice little trade. 16 million. This November Echo gap's too big, forget about it. Whiskey Sierra has to get over that tail, and you don't have a great void. Honeywell amount of that's white off. Set the alarm 5250. I have an order to try to sell the 48s. And I'm out there at 75 cents. It's me. But it's 17 DTE. All right, Sky West. Bottoming pattern. I'm in this, the puts. I'm short the 77.50s. Wow, they're still juice. Amazing. But it's a bottoming pattern. Let me set an alarm at 89.20. All right, Marvel, set an alarm 59. ATO 158.70. This is another buy setup. I was watching from yes. No, that's came from the guy. Roll. All right, I got alarm 159 already. Okay. UPS alarm. Spot. Spot would be a no-brainer call spread if there's any juice at 610. $49 by 91, too spready. Cliff Clavin, yeah, it needs to go sideways. Up a couple bars. San Mino, bottom right. I'm doing nothing. EPD, I said call spread. 32. 1 penny. Are you out of your mind? Dove. Dove I like. I'm gonna set an alarm right there, 171.10. Let me check puts also. It's one of you all mentioned this yesterday, I think. Because I said they make Dove soap. No, 3 DTE, Neil. 3. Yeah, it was a typo. I mean, Freudian slip, whatever. Dove is too spready. I'm going to try the 155. 210. I'm playing market maker with him. Corning came back up, but I got out of my puts. Kava Coming in a little, let me reset alarms. I have the 85-80 put spread. Our glob up a little bit. 20, 50, 18. Doing nothing. STZ, I still got the 177.5 puts. Good 20 cents. Get out. Bravo X-ray hasn't triggered. I got an alarm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, reward to risk. Not sure, but it's a range expansion breakout. All right, Netflix, let me post this. Busy with alarms.
Turns in the gap. Russell showing relative weakness. Everything whipping around pretty good.
Is it similar to your dog when he has a squirrel in his mouth?
Never had a squirrel in her mouth. I don't know what you do with it. She's pretty docile.
Well, what about a play toy then? Play toy, yeah, rabbit, whatever.
It's amazing. You see a dog, not all dogs, but anyway, I think you've seen the dog. She's, like whatever she is like a giant muscle, and you give her like a rope to play with, and she starts whipping that thing around.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. Right.
She will F up your arm. And the point being is like, so playing with her like that, and you think about if any dog of that size and muscularity was to grab onto your forearm and start twisting their head, skin and muscle are coming off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Here's our Netflix trade. A little behind. I remember in the days, I had a hedge fund guy I was consulting with. He wanted to core short Netflix at $170. I remember. He's like, this stock is fundamentally it's horrible. Well, who won that battle? Yeah, our LVS put spread has a bear gap that bullies on the 15-minute chart. A bullish pattern. Maybe add 30-minute high. Ah, no, maybe this one didn't trigger. Ah, this one didn't trigger yet. I'm gonna change the entry. We're gonna do the 34 and a half, $2 wide. 34, there's 25 cents. I'm gonna do it right now. Bill. Marriott. Yeah, love we got into yesterday. That's fine, Molly. Different reward to risk profile, but sure. You're going $10 wide. That's totally fine. There's there's no magic in which ones you pick. You can fine tune them. But I did the one that I posted myself. Tech. TSM put spread still looks great over the highs. Deck Nope, that's tech. Deck hasn't triggered. Those couple put spreads are still good to go. Dunking. It's not gonna trigger, so it's fine. Carvana. Doing well. Okay, fine. 37.35. Marriott, fine. Oh, shoot, Netflix up alarm. I think I told you. I told you that thing is still a beast. But got my 1-to-1 in there.
Beast is this news. Everything flipped.
Mm-hmm. LUV doing fine. Yep, sure is. Nice monthly and weekly, Alex. Yep. All time frames in alignment on that. Let me see about. You can buy the high. Add on a pullback. For the puts, too spreading. But I'm going to try the 220. Is there a dollar by 240? Actually, I'll do a 220, 210 midpoint as a dollar. 02. And I'll try $1.20. No fiddle. Yeah, we got IWM put spread doing nothing, which is fine. Oh, we have a nice profit on it. And it went nowhere. It's 57. We sold, I think, for 80. Run. Our stop was 717. It's still in there. ART doing nothing. Got 77s. And I tightened the stop yesterday. UPS as a dog. Yeah. Looks like a 30-minute loop. Short new. I'm here. We're busy working on alarms on the other computer. I didn't put spread on TTD. That's doing nothing but hanging in there. TSM.